Coming up on 5 Minute News. Restrictions easing in US and Europe amid disaster in India. Biden raises Trump refugee cap after delay backlash. And EPA moves to restrict powerful planet-heating gases. It's Tuesday, May 4. I'm Anthony Davis. Air travel in the US hit its highest mark since COVID-19 took hold more than 13 months ago, while European Union officials are proposing to ease restrictions on visitors to the continent as the vaccine sends new cases and deaths tumbling in more affluent countries. The improving picture in many places contrasts with the worsening disaster in India. In the US, the average number of new cases per day fell below 50,000 for the first time since October, and nearly 1.67 million people were screened at US airport checkpoints on Sunday, according to the Transport Security Administration, the highest number since mid-March of last year. Las Vegas is bustling again after casino capacity limits were raised on Saturday to 80% and person-to-person distancing was dropped to 3 feet. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced that New York City's subways will begin running all night again, and capacity restrictions on most businesses will end statewide in mid-May. And Los Angeles County reported no coronavirus deaths on Sunday and Monday, some of which may be attributable to a lag in reporting, but was nevertheless a hopeful sign that could move the country to allow an increase in capacity at events and venues and indoor service at bars. EU officials also announced a proposal on Monday to relax restrictions on travel to the 27-nation bloc this summer, though the final decision is up to its member countries. As the US and other countries rushed in aid, India reported nearly 370,000 new cases and more than 3,400 deaths on Monday, numbers that experts believe are vast undercounts because of a widespread lack of testing and incomplete reporting. President Joe Biden on Monday formally raised the nation's cap on refugee admissions to 62,500 this year, weeks after facing bipartisan blowback for his delay in replacing the record low ceiling of 15,000 set by former President Donald Trump. Biden last month moved to expand the eligibility criteria for resettlements, removing one roadblock to refugees entering the US put in place by Trump, but he had initially stopped short of lifting the annual cap, with aides saying they did not believe it was necessary. But Biden faced sharp pushback for not at least taking the symbolic step of authorizing more refugees to enter the US this year, and swiftly reversed course. Biden, in a statement on Monday, said the new limit erases the historically low number set by the previous administration, adding that Trump's cap did not reflect America's values as a nation that welcomes and supports refugees. Biden said it was a sad truth that the US would not meet the 62,500 cap by the end of the fiscal year in September, given the pandemic and limitations on the country's resettlement capabilities, some of which his administration has attributed to the Trump administration's policies to restrict immigration. That said, they maintain Biden remains committed to setting the cap at 125,000 for the 2022 fiscal year that starts in October, while they were working to improve US capabilities to process refugees to be able to accept as many of them as possible under the new cap. Refugee resettlement agencies applauded the action after criticizing Biden for months for letting Trump's cap remain. The US Environmental Protection Agency has moved to restrict the use of hydrofluorocarbons, or HCFCs, extremely powerful planet-heating gases found in refrigerators and air conditioning units that are the target of an international push for phasing out. In the first move by Joe Biden's administration to directly cut a greenhouse gas, the EPA has proposed a rule to drastically reduce the production and import of HCFCs in the US by 85% over the next 15 years. The step is a significant one, as Biden seeks to cut total US emissions in half by the end of the decade. It's estimated that if the world phased out HFCs, the planet would avoid 0.5 degrees centigrade in heating by the end of the century, a huge figure in the context of global climate goals that seek to avoid what would be a disastrous 1.5 centigrade rise in the Earth's average temperature. HFCs were widely installed in air conditioning units, heat pumps and refrigeration as a replacement for chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, which were found to be depleting the Earth's ozone layer. But HFCs have the drawback of being a potent greenhouse gas, thousands of times more powerful at trapping heat than carbon dioxide, and a significant driver of dangerous global heating. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen Podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.